What is so important about driving faster than anyone else?
A lot of people go through life doing things badly. Racing's important to men who do it well. When you're racing, it's life. Anything that happens before or after, it's just waiting.
Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome to Apex Racing TV. Alex Simpson and Brenton O'Brien here for round 8 of the Sim Racers Asia PitTalkAsia.com GT Simulator Series, coming to you today live from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, sunny Canada. Actually, the weather is pretty beautiful out there for racing today. Brenton, welcome to the show, fella.
Cheers, AC. Beautiful weather. 19 degrees, nice little breeze from the west at 14 kilometres, and humidity very manageable, 53%. So, yeah, it's great to be back here live, isn't it, for the series? Marcus Lenderman dominating the GT3 class, and Stephen Bocade giving the rest a touch up in the class as well.
Yeah, we're just looking at the championship standings after Spa. So Marcus very dominant, even smashed that race with the extra pit stop that he ended up taking as well. So 7 starts, 6 wins for the young racer there. 222 points. That puts him all of 46 points ahead of Charles Desir, who was championship leader. He's obviously missed around, we know. He's watched the Grand Prix at Singapore, no one can begrudge that, so he's definitely playing a bit of catch up, but he's had some bad luck of recent races as well as Charles, so let's hope that he bounces back quite strong this week and can get himself back into the mix and start putting a little bit of pressure on Marcus. Right now he's got nothing as far as it's concerned in the championship, and also on the track he's dominating out there. Race pace, qualifying pace, just pretty supreme, and I think Charles just needs to try and step it up a little bit, see if he can't give him a little bit of pressure, give him some let me start again, put some pressure on and try and force some mistakes. We have seen that from Marcus in the past.
Some scoreboard pressure, yeah, like you said, he has the 1 week less, but Charles he had the round 1 win at Motegi the night, but some of his other results have been a bit poor, possibly because of incidents involving the Corvettes early doors. So yeah, the opportunities there, but Marcus, at Watkins, for example, he's had bad results as well. So there's still a fair bit to go there. But yeah, Charles needs a good result tonight.
Yeah, Tobias Cherney sits 3rd place in the championship on 174 points. Dong Wu Gang 156. Good result for both of those drivers last week, but not able to jump Charles in the championship. Warren Pickering rounds out your top 5. Over to the C6R GT1 category, Steve Bocade still leads the way, 279 points, 7 starts, 5 victories and 7 top 5 finishes, just showing his consistency out there. Marcus Huang in second, 249, so 30 points behind. Also with 7 top 5s, 1 win, 2 podiums. So
Yeah, Marcus had that win a few weeks ago at not Laguna Seca, the American race. Can't remember the track off the top of my head right now. So he's showing some pace. Stephen, if he finishes the race, he generally wins it. So he shows some strong pace here again tonight. But we were talking about the Nations Cup. Surely we should give that a mention. AC, I'll hand that to you.
Yeah, I thought you might. Just looking at that, I'm not sure who this is leading the way. Just some little place called Australia, smashing it actually. 732 points. You guys absolutely dominant this year. It was close last season. It sure isn't this season. Carry on at this rate. Gonna have a phenomenal lead come the end of the season. But Singapore doing a good job in second on 555. Unfortunately, my maths is not that great that I can just work out the figures off the top of my head between you guys, but it's pretty sizable.
It's about 177. It's a big result, but obviously with the advantage with the Corvette, the Australians have got the Corvettes running well, so it makes a big difference. And chipping away the GT3 with drivers like Tim Jackson and Warren Pickering and a couple of round winners like Jared Fussell won a round not so long ago as one-off appearance on behalf of the Aussies as well.
Yeah, and then we've got Japan and Europe there as well, sitting in third place, 480 points. They actually moved up one place, overtook Indonesia, Thailand and the Philippines by just 1 point. So they're pretty close for the final sort of podium position in the championship there. Korea sat in fifth place on 333, so falling behind a little bit. Used to seeing those guys right up there, but just don't seem to have the same sort of strength and depth that they had from the first season we started to cover.
No, they don't. One thing I find interesting as well is the Manufacturers' Cup. 531 points for the BMW, which obviously was the car of choice last year. 520 for the McLaren. The Rough, which was everybody's favourite toy 2 seasons ago, down in fourth place with 361. So there's only 11 points between the BMW and the McLaren. And going by qualifying pace tonight, there's only the 2 minutes left in qualifying. Marcus Wong in provisional pole, 132.3 ahead of Marcus Lenderman, first of our GT3 classes again with 32.694 in front of Steve Bouquet. Mark Lang, our host, at 33.3 is great position for him thus far. Dongwu in the first of our roughs, 33.4. Andre Martin, the 33.5 in 6th place. Charles Sierra, we spoke about him already, at 33.6. Alex Cherney in the rough, 33.9. Sorry, not Alex Cherney in the BMW. Tobias Cherney in the BMW. Warren Pickering, the first of the Aussies. So a little bit for back there in 10th place with a 34 flat. That's with a minute and a half to go.
Yeah, the drivers all still out there trying to improve at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on that as the rest of the provisional standings just flick up on the screen now.
Well, 28 cars on the grid, so it's a fairly healthy field. There's a few missing. I've got a feeling that Tim Jackson's wife has had another attempt of having a baby. It's about 3 out of the last 4 weeks for her, so he's missing in action tonight.
Oh, we hope Mrs. Jackson's all good, if she is in there at this point. Yeah, just the 45 seconds to go then. Drivers really are starting to finish up. It looks like Steve Bouquet, Mark Langdon again, they're finished and done as they are at the moment. Lazardri, Brett Wilson also done. Good to see Aaron Pierce managed to get into the server. He was having some issues earlier on. So our
finished, yeah.
Co-commentator Bernie Weemers perhaps struggling a little bit, 26th place, but that means very little. We've seen Bernie have a good strong race and
Warren
picks
Pickering
up
just
some
coming
places.
across the strike from 11th. Let's just see if he's improved in his 34.0. No, he hasn't, so he remains at 11th. Warren Pickering had an excellent second place in Motegi in the first round. Just seems to have dropped off a bit, but showing some consistent pace.
Now Charles Visser's still out there at the moment. Not anymore. That's a big sideways moment.
I don't know why Marcus Lenderman does that. It's the exact type of thing he shouldn't do. He's he's already stopped on an outlap. The car on a quick lap, and Lenderman just cut in front of him and cleaned them both up. But these things happen. Doesn't seem to be any angst about it.
Yeah, and should
Anyway.
really have pulled that back to the pits and escaped out rather than continue. The car's severely damaged. It's all he's doing is getting in the way of people finishing their last lap. So
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Marcus.
Yeah, we'll go through the grid. Marcus won the well-deserved pole position, as we said, 32.350, 3 tenths up on Marcus Lenderman. Lenderman's advantage is he gets good starts and he seems to go well on the cold tyres, and the Corvettes really struggle on the cold tyres, don't they? So if Lenderman gets in the lead, he might be up and away here, but I can see the Corvette stretching their legs from here. 33.2 for Stephen Boucade, Mark Lang in 4th as discussed. Dongwu Gang remained in 5th, Andre Martins in 6th, Charles Sierra in 7th. Maluna has moved up in the McLaren up into 8th, so that's a good result for him. Alex Cherney beats his brother Tobias. It's probably the first time I've actually seen Alex out-qualify Tobias. Warren Pickering 11th, Farney Lazardy, a bit down in the order, must be set in 12th. Brett Wilson 34.3. Brett Woods in a 34.4, Kevin Huang a 34.5, Greg Heaton down on his normal form today, a 34.5. So Tim Ballinger with his new team, 34.8 in front of Aaron Pearce at 34.8. I think Aaron's in the same team. Who else we got? Adrian Jarvis in 22nd, Gregory Eckel in 24th, DK Lee, Bernie Weimers 36.797 in 26th. Down to Sata in 28th and Richard Holiday, not sure he's starting in 29th, so 29 starters as Mark just goes through his instructions.
Yeah, we obviously don't get to hear those on the stream, but yeah, nice.
He does a good job. He's to be congratulated, Mark, for the job he does. We've got a minute 30 till the start. He does the little things that just make the series so much more inviting.
Yeah, I think some people might begrudge people sort of doing little drivers briefings and things like that, but actually, if that's the kind of driver you are, then you don't belong in sort of like a series like this. And it's good that I think Mark does that sort of stuff as well, because it just gives them something else to think about at the start of the race. That's where we always racing the closest and the hardest, and anything can happen. So I for one am glad that he does that sort of stuff.
Yeah, 50 seconds to go to the start. Who is your pick for today? Including the Corvettes.
Yeah, well, I think we'll go with Lindemann for the GT3 win, but actually, Can I go for my P2 man as being Mark? I'd like to see Mark. He's done a great job in qualifying, sat third on the...
Hang on, Mark Lang or Mark Huang?
Yeah, Mark Lang. And then Mark... I think Marcus will take the victory here today as well. Steve Boucade perhaps just going to have his hands full, I get the feeling, today.
Righto. Well, we'll see how we go. No doubt the revs will be building shortly.
Yeah, indeed they are. Lights are coming on. Red lights. You can see everyone just looking for that green light. We're away here, and something's gone on the back straight away. Someone into the wall. I think that might be Bernie Weemers into the wall instantly.
Bernie, or was it the buffet? Just tell me how to go. Dongwu Gang, what an awesome start. Dongwu, yeah, Bernie has had an issue, yeah. Dongwu immediately up in the second place. Fantastic start. Warren Pickering's had an off. Richard Holiday's had an off. Bernie's out the back. And who else we got here? Mark Lang.
Oh, Maluna round as well. Lots kicking off here this time.
Maluna's gone from 8th. Oh, it's a messy start. It's that type of track that invites with the... who's had a... Boucade's had a shortcut. This is the thing with this track, is the shortcuts are just killers here in this track. Has he had a shortcut or is he damaged? I've actually got a feeling he's damaged. He's driving sideways. Oh, and he's driven into the side of somebody, side of Vincent. Oh, it's very clumsy. Boucade, he's out. He's at the second chicane there. And,
Yeah, he's not. He's
Oh,
gone.
And Pickering's race is over as well. He's gone as well. So it's a terrible start for the Australians, and Mark Lang has been caught up. This is a pretty messy start, this.
Yeah, I have to say the Corvettes just really struggled out there with grip. They're way down.
Aaron Pearce actually started in pit lane, and he's already got damage. Blockade in the pits. Anyway, back to the race. Just a messy start. Brett Wilson is in the pits too, so this is a shocker for the Aussies here.
You're certainly full of confidence at the start of this one for the Nations Championship, but that's certainly going to open it up a bit when we look at it. So Marcus Lenderman then leads the way, 3.4 seconds ahead of Dongwoo Gang, who I have to say has had a fantastic start as well. Charles
we've had a previous race winner, Andre Marks, is in the pits as well. So that's with Blockade in the pits, race winner. Marks in the pits, race winner. So there's some good guys in the pits at the moment. This is opening it up a bit for the podium.
What we will do is we'll look at the start back in a bit more detail at the end of this race, just before we grab some interviews, because I know the replay system's been playing up in with this build, so I don't want to get all lost with everything's going on. So, but yeah, I know Martins went out wide in turn 1, and of course over the grass into turn 2, and then rejoined in quite an awkward place. So I think that pretty much started a lot of it off, because they were 3 or 4 wide trying to go into that first chicane, which is just never going to work.
No, we're looking at the lap time of Lenderman here. He's just done 1:33.888. Dong a 1:35.0, so the 1.2 seconds already. Charles Sierra made some ground on Dongwoo, must be said, with a 34.3 and Wang with a 33.6. So the Corvette's tyres are warming up and it's becoming alive. So he's a good Aussie representative.
Just having a quick look further back, Greg Eaton, Tobias Cherney.
Eaton's just lost it, put it in the fence. Oh, it's heartbreaking from his start. Like, he was 16th on the grid, up to 5th, and he's thrown it away. I'm not sure how much damage he's got on board there, but that was a fairly hard hit.
Yeah, very easy to do coming out of that chicane as well. Just getting a little bit heavy on the old right foot, coming out there, sending him round into the wall. It's so unforgiving, this track as well. You make a mistake, you're in the wall. So yeah, that battle is now between Tobias Lazardri and Alex. So, but that looks pretty tasty.
Well, Lazardri's done a great job, Funny, from 12th on the grid. He's moved up 5 spots, so yeah, maybe it's the track that will favour the McLarens as it goes on. 30 laps here today. Not sure how long the McLarens will be able to run compared to the BMWs. We find that they're a bit thirstier, so hopefully we'll know shortly within lap 14, 15 if they'll make it.
Marcus Wang gets himself up into net second place, puts the fastest lap of the race in while he's doing it. So, like you say, those Corvette tyres coming up to pressure and temperature now, and just starting to fly out there.
Well, I might have said the Aussies are struggling, but I think we spoke too soon here. We've got Tim Ballinger, magnificent first few laps, up from 17th on the grid up into 8th. Sorry, I think Greg Heaton from 16th up to 8th, so plenty of depth in the Aussies team, so that does well. I think Alex has just clipped the wall there. So plenty of depth there with the Aussies. It's probably helping out a lot at the moment. Huang is through both Dongwoo and Charles Sierra, so he's chasing down Marcus at the moment as well. Lap 33.6 his last lap. Lenderman at 34.3, so now the Corvette's up and alive, he's away.
Yeah, Lazardri's had a good start as well, you know. 6 places he's gained. Alex Cherney just a 2. Just have a little look, see what else is going back. Richard Holiday, 17th place, in a bit of a sandwich between Mark Lang and Sata here.
And Bernie Weemers, as much of the drama he had at the start, he was clearly well last. He's already up to 14th, so yeah, he's stayed out of trouble since the initial start. He's doing a great job charging along.
Oh, Mark Lang. Oh, we've got serious action going on down at the hairpin. Lang into the wall. I'm not sure if that was Buffet caught up in that or what. But there was someone spinning at the hairpin too. Richard Holiday, I think Maluna got past Mohad going into that corner as well. So yeah, lots of action going off a bit further back.
And Mark's still clipping walls on the straight on the way down. Thinking straight into the pits, straight into the pits.
I cursed him. I cursed him, didn't I?
We're desperate to see Mark get a good result because no one deserves a good result more than he does.
We're up in the chopper. Charles is starting to take a look at Dongwoo Gang. It's interesting, Dongwoo swaps between the rough and the Z4 while Charles just stays with this Z4, so any advantage that might be on the track through the different cars, Charles not really interested and just wants the familiarity of the car rather than perhaps those tenths of a second advantage that one car might have over the other.
You can see down the straight on top of the chopper struggling to keep up with it, so it's fantastic. More dramas, fantastic shots here through the was it the corner of champions or the chicane of champions, which has knocked out many world champion in the Formula 1 series.
Yep, the famous wall of champions. I'm no champion, but I've hit it many a time.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on the track? You find the shortcuts of some V8 supercar racing here? We got Lang still hitting walls. Obviously his car's not fixed properly, Mark, and that could be curtains, I would say. He's hit that wall pretty hard. Well,
yeah,
the shortcuts, I think they're a bit too harsh here. I really do.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. I think especially with this type of car or the V8s, where you will play with the curbs a lot and get away with it because the car can take them. Yeah, I do think that they're a little harsh, and I know from personal experience in the World Championship as well, is your servo connection can have an effect on whether you get a cut penalty or not as well. We saw some horrendous ones in the World Championship. A lot of drivers moaning and complaining about that. So I think they definitely need to sort of tail them back just a fraction. Oh, Min Park into the back of Eckel going into the hairpin. Fortunately, he manages to hold on to it.
Well, notice even Lenderman's got some damage to his rear wing, so he's hit something, or someone's hit him early. So yeah, he's that might come and affect his speed. A 34.3 is certainly not a shabby lap, is it? But let's have a look at his last few. 34.3, 34.2, 34.1, 34.3. So doesn't be affecting his speed. A 34.2 for one. So that lead is down to 3 seconds even on the dot.
Yeah, it looks to me like he want to try and hold on to overall victory. I think today, Lindman, he got that good start, and it looks like he's pushing out there. Which we've seen this before, and he's made many mistakes before as well. So let's hope it doesn't happen again.
Just wondering whether the Corvettes might need to two-stop. Normally I talk to Jacko about things before the race or during the week, and I haven't had that chance this week, so I'm getting short of information. So I'm just wondering whether the Corvettes might need to two-stop. If they do, they'll be lights out.
Yeah, same as well. I haven't got any information here to say one way or another if one's got a 2 and one's got a 1 stop. So yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on it, just see when Juan jumps into the pits.
Yeah, we've got Mark Lang in the pits. We must send Mark an email or something. We've got to be great to have Mark on TS and join us in the commentary box and explain the competition to us. We've been racing, but it'd be great to have Mark up in the commentary box just to have a chat with us as well. We'll try and organise that, I reckon.
Yeah, I think that definitely needs to be a done deal. We'll have a chat with him perhaps on PM after this race, and yeah, next time he's in a similar position, he can come and join us.
In the meantime, we've got. Oh, hang on, we've had a bit of a drama with Vincent Brahm here. Let's have a look what's happening. He's been knocked off at the hairpins, popular spot. And that BMW Vincent, in 17th place, it's taken an absolute beating. And Sarter and Woods are going at it here for, I imagine it's 19th and 20th.
Yeah, just having a look at replay of that, I have managed to get that one up. So, yeah, just going down into hairpin, looks like there's a good little battle starting to form. A lot of damage between these cars. Oh, yeah. Just, I'm not sure he realised what hit him there, actually, Vincent. But, yeah, they were 3 wide going into the hairpin. That's not going to work. Trying to see who it was. I think it was Mohad there. Just got his brake in all wrong. Poked his nose in between the 2 drivers, and, yeah. Poor Vincent was the guy on the outside and come off worse. Back live with the action, Charles.
Sorry, mate, just
still trying to get onto the back of Dongwoo Gang to get a move done, but just doesn't look like he's got the straight line speed button.
No, he doesn't. I'm just wondering whether it's a setup or whether it's the car. And, I do find that some tracks do favour some cars more than others, so it could be something as simple as that.
And just to look a little bit further back as well, P7, Alex Cherney.
Yeah, I was just looking at Alex. I reckon he's just clipped the wall again. But he doesn't look like there's any damage to his car. Is there? No, I don't think there is.
I think we see this a lot actually here at Montreal, and certainly in some of the F1 races are featured. It looks like drivers hit the wall and get wing damage and all sorts, when actually they don't. They're just very, very close, and the server's just not quite showing us the right images. It can be a bit frustrating.
And we've lost 2 of our best 3 McLarens just disappeared at the same time. Martin's out of the race, left the server. Yeah, that leaves us with Lenderman and Farney, our 2 reliable McLaren drivers.
Just having a look now. Oh, Maluna into the wall, big time. That's Wall of Champions. That is exactly what that does to you. So got himself all up over the curbs and into the wall. Let's have a look, see what happened to Yong there.
Yong's actually dropped out as well in the BMW, and he's shown some good pace during the season. I think the last few races might have dropped off a bit, but yeah, might be just lack of track time, I guess. But another one that's disappeared on us, unfortunately. Just up the front, it was 3 seconds. It's up to 3.7 seconds now between Lenderman and Huang. So Lenderman's just punching away with some strong lap times and consistent lap times.
Yeah, 2/10 of a second quicker that last time by as well. So, like I say, I'm pretty sure he wants the overall victory. He knows he's not racing these guys, but he still wants to beat them.
Well, there's a fantastic prize on offer, and he's doing the job today, isn't he? And Charles has been having a possibly what it was earlier, but we both made a fantastic start. We're not holding him up much now. Might be on different fuel strategies, or just might be that the tyres of the BMW are going off.
Just had a quick look at Aaron Pearce putting a move on Vincent there. I'm pretty sure that was slam dunk due to the damage of Vincent's BMW there. The left hand side of that on the rear is just completely manangled. Technical term. And on the right hand side on the front. Yeah.
It's funny that the English haven't managed the English language perfectly yet, but we'll just stick with manangled.
All good.
And DK Lee's obviously, I'm just thinking whether he's had a shortcut. He's obviously just let Min Park through, but doesn't look like any problems for DK, so probably just a shortcut there.
Charles fallen back now, over 1 second behind Dongwu, so really starting to speed up. It looked more like it was a bad lap from Charles rather than a good lap from Dongwu, so yeah, not sure. And I guess we're missing something a bit further back.
Yeah, no, just Pierce. It's
DK Lee here, sorry, Min Park on DK Lee, is that? No, I'm not sure what that was actually. I think that was just a back marker, sorry. Getting myself all excited there for nothing. No, that was a move, sorry, that was a move. DK Lee on Min Park there into final chicane.
loving the looks of the GLW cars here. Timmy Ballinger, he's obviously had an issue because he had a great start. He's just down in 19th there in front of his teammate Adrian Jarvis. But that new team did well in the V8 Supercar race. As we said this, as we say that Adrian spins. Sorry, Adrian, that is the absolute curse right there. He's got it back together, but that's not entirely. Who else should I talk about that might win their race? I won't mention anyone's names.
Yeah, Tim Ballinger's pitted, so that might be why he's dropped a little bit down, and so has Jarvis as well. So yeah, we're just having a little replay of that spin now.
It just seems such a messy race, doesn't it? It's the opportunities there to get high in the points line. The example is Bernie Weemers had that awful start. Obviously, he lost a lot of traction on the start, and he's punching away above his weight here, up into 11th place here, co-commentator for the V8 Supercar Series. So, fantastic job by Bernie here.
Yeah, I think he was fortunate not to get too much damage on the front of that rough off the start. I'm really not sure what happened. It just looked like he got pushed from behind into the wall. It was weird. But car seems to be alright for him, and he's putting in some pretty decent lap times. I have to say he's lapping as quick as Greg ahead of him in 10th, so there's a chance if he gets the strategies right, he might be able to get a top 10 here.
Yeah, well, Greg's actually up from 24th on the grid to 10th. Bernie's up from 26th on the grid to 11th, so cashing in on a lot of mistakes made by a lot of people tonight. It's just been a messy race. I know there's cars are coming into pit, etc., but it has been a messy race. It's one of those races where if you keep it clean, you've got a great chance to probably box above your weight. Probably the second time I've said that tonight, sorry, but just to pick up a few more spots. And Adrian Jarvis off again in exactly the same spot as the lap before. Well, I don't think we'll ever show you again, Adrian. We'll keep clear of you there.
Yeah, unfortunately I did catch that one live, so yeah, he's really struggling.
Yeah, 2 laps in a row, the exact same spot, just losing the back end. So yeah, it's just a bit messy there at the moment. Just wondering if he should make an adjustment in the car for his brakes or something. Greg Heaton, you know, the new skin, not a big rep for it, I'm not going to lie. In 8th place in the 77, had some early dramas, so he's showing some good consistent pace as well. 27.3 with his last lap, so that's I'm going to assume it's a pit lap. I just lost a fair chunk of time. He's hit the wall again on my screen. Oh no, he has hit the wall that time because the front of that the roughs, the front right is it's missing quite a chunk.
Just looking back at Dongwu Gang and Charles Desir, these guys still pretty much the closest battle on the circuit at the moment, just making their way down the back straight. You see Charles closes up quite a bit, under braking, using all the curves where Dongwu just sort of puts himself nicely in between the middle. He's having to go defensive here. Charles got a great run. I think the only way around is going to be the outside. He has a little look, maybe as a switchback, but nothing coming this time. I think Charles is quicker, Brenton, but he just can't find a way past.
Yeah, I think he is quicker. No doubt he is. But lap 14 on the 30 lap race, so the pit window is certainly going to be opening, definitely as of next lap. So maybe there'll be that chance for an undercut for for Charles to get through, but yeah, Dongwu's such a wily driver. He's just going to pick his lines. He's going to, make Charles work hard with his position. But it's costing him time. It's just a hemorrhaging at the moment. They're 11 seconds behind Marcus Lenderman. They're 7 seconds behind Wang, and Tobias in just the 6 seconds back. Like, these guys are knocking over 35 threes. Tobias a 34.8 is coming.
Yeah, it won't take him too much longer. Was that, did you say 6 seconds? Yeah, just under 6 seconds at the moment, so let's see how he does. Greg Eaton just disappeared off of my screen. What has gone on there? Is that a connection issue?
Heaton's gone. Greg Heaton is... that's a shame for Greg, but he's obviously clumped the wall there or something, because he's also left as well.
Let's have a look, see what happened. Is it a case of he didn't pay his internet bill? Hamsters stopped running. Oh no, it's into the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, and who was that behind him? That was Kevin, wasn't it? Kevin Huang.
Take the pieces as well, did he?
Well, it actually managed to survive that and stay out of it, but it didn't have to have to hammer the anchors on. I've totally lost it today.
Put your plastic tank back in.
Yeah.
Lenderman in the pits. That 15, he should make it from here, obviously. So he seems a longish. Out now. Let's see if he's going to be coming out in 4th position, is he?
20.9. No, I think it's a lot further than that. It's looking more like 7th. Yeah, he's behind Alex Cherney, who's currently in 6th.
Yep.
I think actually would have been behind Kevin as well, had it not been for the fact that he just had to basically come to a standstill. Bernie, well, I thought for a minute. Oh no, Bernie's into the pits. I thought for a minute he was battling.
Dongwu's just having to take some severe avoiding action of the lap cars there. Like Sarta's trying to get out of the way, but a bit of "I'll go left if you go left" as well action. Charles deep under brakes into the pits.
Oh!
Charles is good. That's clever. Let's see if he hasn't gone too deep here. But look where they are in comparison with Huang now. Huang's obviously taken that entry extremely carefully, because they were 6 seconds behind him.
Yeah, I've got to see how this plays out actually, who comes out. I think the GT3's a little bit quicker in the pit stops as well. But yeah, we'll stay with this because...
I think Charles just overshot his pits. Just that fraction could make all the difference, and Tobias is in as well. This is going to be interesting. Tell you what, if Charles doesn't get a penalty, that's what an amazingly clever move.
Yeah, Dongwu's away. Charles is away, so he didn't get a penalty. But in the end, and Dongwu managed to jump.
And he's gone through him again.
Well, that's
probably a bit sleepy there by Huang, it must be said.
Well, actually, I think that is more of a case of, ooh, I have cold tyres. Take it easy.
That could be true. Yeah,
and not do anything.
But look what the distance between...
Oh, who was that? That was...
Is that Sarta?
I think that's Sarta, yeah.
He's had a few dramas tonight. No, actually, he's had more than a few dramas. He's had a lot of dramas tonight. It's been one of those races, but the gap that Dongwu has pulled on Tessieri there is significant.
Yeah, 2 No, that's more than that. That's 3.6 seconds faster stationary in the stops. So now whether that's a difference between the car and the fuel time, I don't know.
The amount of fuel.
Yeah, it's a tough one to say.
What this has done is Fani Lazardi also is all of a sudden right with Alex Cherney, so some changes.
Yeah, well, because they were reverse order, even though in the pits it looks like Lazardi had a slightly quicker stop, but not helped him there as Cherney just down the back straight.
Brahm coming out of the pits, he'll be happy with the quick fix there, because that looks like a brand new BMW now compared to the
What
piece
he
of
had
junk that he
early on.
handed in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got himself a good deal there. Lenderman dominating really now in here, 34.3 on his first out lap. So he's really put the hammer down here. He's taken that lead from 3 seconds, 3.9 seconds from Marcus Wong to 15.4. So Marcus's in lap was significantly slower. Not sure whether he might have had a few coughs and splutters on the way in, not sure, but he seems to have lost far too much time just to be taking it easy there.
It's all I can think of actually, that he must have run out of fuel coming in there, because for the guys who were some 6 seconds behind to basically overtake him coming into the pits, it's the only thing I can think of. Just checking in with this battle a bit further back again between Lazardri and Cherney. Just half a second separating those guys at the moment. They're about 10 seconds behind Tobias, so I think Tobias is pretty safe from them. He might be able to focus on trying to catch the Dongwu and Charles battle, but he's a little far back at the moment.
Yeah, the cars are fairly well spread out. Lazardy and Cherney, Alex Cherney, is the battle of the race at the moment.
Actually, we've got DK Lee and Bernie Weemers here having a good little battle, just a bit further back.
Okay.
Bernie managing to hold on to his position, defending into the second chicane.
And who's that? Pierce as well?
Yeah, Pierce.
The lap down, I think he is.
No, this is straight on fight Pierce as well for DK Lee. And Paijo's not too far behind them as well, just 1.5 seconds. Interesting little battle starting to form up.
Well, it just shows how well Bernie's done, isn't he? It's, like I said again, once you get started, he's just punching out consistent laps and it's paying off. I think the cavalry are coming though.
Bernie's had his pit stop as well, so his car's shiny and new too. It's just, let's see what he does this lap. Looks like the last one might have been an out lap, didn't count.
These three BMWs.
Pierce up the inside. Sorry, Brendan. Pierce up the inside of DK Lee into the chicane. DK having to concede the position. It actually cost him a boatload of time. Should have perhaps got out of that a tiny bit earlier, and he might have had the chance to fight back. But as it is, he's about 2 seconds behind now, and under pressure, big time from Paijo.
Oh, and DK's off in the first corner.
Rejoins.
He's almost clipped Lenderman.
Managed to stay. I was about to say, managed to stay out in front of Ballinger, but I think Ballinger's got the run on him. Yeah,
Ballinger
so DK's he's got some problems there. He must have, because his car looks like it's just all over the show at the moment.
Yeah, the car doesn't look damaged. Maybe he didn't change tyres, and the pit stop is starting to suffer there a bit. But no, Ballinger through, as is Lenderman. That was close for our race leader there. And Pierce and Williams. Well, hopefully these boys will behave themselves and keep it clean, because they're showing the flag tonight.
Yeah, just a little love tap there from behind. Bernie defending the inside line. Pierce trying to break a little bit later, but it's maybe a cutback.
Oh, he's hit him again. Don't need to be doing that, Aaron. You certainly don't need to hit him mid-apex. We've got to leave that alone.
I think Bernie's ready to give him the position here. I just think if he doesn't want any more of that,
Second BMW looks like it's about to eat the rough, because it's just been tapping away at it. We don't need to be doing that.
Yeah, I think that was wise from Bernie in the end.
Peugeot in, which is at lap 18.
Yeah, he's got some damage on the front of that. He's already been in once before. Maybe he was involved in a turn one. A lap 1 incident that we perhaps didn't catch. Looks like Lazardri is losing ground on Alex Cherney here.
Tell you who impresses me week after week is Brett Woods in the 777 rough. You can't be accused of being the quickest driver out there, but he can be accused of being one of the most consistent and clean drivers out there. Always puts his hand up and always, in the top 15 every race, chipping away. Has had some serious good top 10 results this season. And today's the same. He qualified in a steady 14th, just made up the 4 spots up to 10th. Got a bit of pressure from Mid Park, but he's just passed Mid Park actually the last lap. So Brett Woods, he's got Kevin Wong well down the road, but just showing some good pace again.
Yeah, I think when he catches up on races, because he didn't do the first few, that he'll soon find himself working his way up the table into a fairly reasonable position.
Yeah, Lars really has dropped back quite since, a long way from Alex. Alex last up at 34.4, back to Lizardo 35.7, so that's well off the pace.
Considering these guys were pretty much fighting the entire first stint and they pitted on the same time, I'm surprised. Lizardo did put a little bit short of fuel in, or the stop was a little bit shorter, so...
Oh, sorry. And Dongwoo and Charles side by side into the first turn. Charles around the outside, holding it. Dongwoo's fighting back here. Charles will hold that. Charles is there up into second. Great overtaking pass there.
Yeah, Dongwoo tried to hold on to that. Thought he perhaps had it with the inside of one, but Charles was able to carry the momentum through the corner and had the inside for turn 2, and then it's always Charles's position from there.
And that big black Corvette of Marcus Wong just looks like it's going to come up and just give him a bit of heartache. In the background there, Tobias Tuning at 34.5 is going to be knocking on the door as well. Charles has put the quicker lap time in there, but Dongwoo at 34.9 last lap is obviously struggling a bit there. R2D2 is playing in the background. Yeah,
I always forget to tell him to be quiet during this race.
Oh, I think you get to the stage you have to start introducing him, mate, because he's here every week. Alex Simpson, Bridget O'Brien, R2D2.
Yeah, so just looking at Tobias, and actually he didn't have a very good lap that one either. No, it's okay, but he was about 3 seconds behind, but lost a bit of time. I think that might just be because he's following Marcus at the moment. Of course, Marcus pulls away quite a chunk during the straightaway sections and is right on the back of Dongwoo Gang now.
Yeah, 4 seconds for the gap from first to second, so you can forget about any lane changes unless there's a mistake behind him. And this year, not the worst result for his championship, that was limitation of it. Overtake the win. If this year can come second, it just keeps that championship alive, just keeping that pressure on Lindemann. There's races to go. Bathurst next week, an all-time favourite. Very easy to make a mistake there, and results can come and go very quickly. Yeah,
absolutely. One little mistake and you're out. That race, we've seen a few this morning with the V8 Supercar Series, as Marcus has a little look into the third of the chicanes. Now this is really where Tobias needs to get on the back of Dongwoo Gang, as these guys are going to, I would imagine, let through Marcus at some point. Doesn't seem like much point in fighting him, especially with the straight line speed that he has.
Well, Dick O'Lee certainly hasn't done Charles any favours there, just pretty much cut him off at the chicane. They're still not making it easy for him here. Charles will get through, but he's having to work his way through here. Or is he through? No, not good, Dickade. Not good at all. Charles has got a championship to fight for. He's not getting out of the way. That's pretty ordinary.
Yeah, not good there. I don't.
Yeah, Marcus Wong is just swamping him now. Yeah, Tissera, that's...
Oh! Dongwoo Gang hits Marcus there in turn 1. He was desperate to get through the traffic, and yeah, just clouts Marcus. Is Marcus back going? He is.
Well, let's see if Dongwu gives that position back. It's all well and good to say sorry, but let's see if he gives that position back. You know what I think's caused a lot of this is DK Lee just sticking his nose in where it doesn't need to be, and he just needs to pull over the side of the road. He's a lap down. He's not racing anyone. And there's some kind of warning or some kind of penalty should go out to DK Lee. Just completely ignored the blue flags there.
Yeah, what that has done is moved Tobias up into third position. He's also struggling to get by DK Lee here, so yeah, I'm not quite sure what.
Well, DK's actually blocking there.
Yeah.
He's actually changing direction under brakes there. That is some serious bad racing. It's not what's encouraged here.
Yeah, I think Tobias is just expecting he's going to let him go, but actually he's not. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure what DK's trying to do here, whether he's just trying to represent Korea in a bad way, or it's just that's not good. I'll stick with DK here because Dongwu's trying to come up and lap him again. Wasn't overly successful the first time, but DK just needs to pull over. It's not the first time DK's had some problems with other cars, and I don't think it'll be the last.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think what that has done is ruled out any chance of Tobias closing in, and Dongwu's through this time.
Well, that's amazing because he's let Dongwu through cleanly there. Dongwu, Korean representative, DK, Korean representative. He'll need a chat, that's not what it's about. And now we've got Marcus Wong coming up again behind him. Let's see how kind he is about letting Marcus through. Marcus is a bit deep in that first chicane, it's costing him a bit of time.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit, I think, with the rear wing damage that he's picked up now. I mean, he'll be disappointed that he got hit there, but he really ought to not worry about it too much, because at the end of the day, he's still winning the class. Doesn't matter where he is in reference to the GT3s, but
yeah, you're right, but it's just that how it's happening to everything, and I'm sure he'd like to be further overall with the race as well. I would have thought this time the track would have favoured the Corvettes with the long restraints here, and they can really stretch their legs. Yeah, DK's, I don't think he had much of a choice there, because the Corvettes really opened up and just gone straight through him. Well, is DK fighting back now? Don't do it. Gee, Tim Ballinger, very, very nice in letting them through like that. Let's reset to the pits. There's both the GLW cars from the pits now.
So last time by Charles able to pull away from Tobias, so I think that this race is pretty much over.
This going to be a problem
second.
for Charles. There's the traffic just not behaving themselves tonight. Christopher Buffet and a big block on Charles. Obviously not deliberate, just a bit clumsy, must be said. What this is doing is just Tobias is creeping up. It's got the 7 laps to go. I just don't know. Tobias has got to deal with the same. Oh man, Tobias had to deal with the same cars being lapped and not doing him any favours either.
Yeah, sometimes I think the drivers just being lapped there expect the leaders to be so fast that they can just blow straight past, but it's not like that. You know, when you get checked up in the corner, you've got equal power coming out the corner, so give them a little lift, let them go, and get back on about your business. Charles definitely gained out of that as well, back over 4 seconds now.
Yeah. There's some big chunky gaps here. The gap between 7th and 8th, it's 30 seconds between Fani in 7th and Kevin Huang in 8th. So Kevin's, I think he came 3rd overall in not last season, the season before. So he's got the potential, just probably hasn't really shown it this season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he was involved, wasn't he, with the that incident ahead of him, and he had to check right up and lost a whole load of time and whatnot there. But Still quite a way behind Lazardri. Normally you see those two actually on the same piece of track pretty much all race long. Not too much going on out there at the moment. Probably the closest battle we've got is Dongwu Gang and Tobias Cherney.
It's just interesting how they're trying to get through this lap. Traffic Bernie's certainly doing the right thing and making his intentions clear and communicating well as to where to go. But I don't think everyone's been that forthcoming so far this race. Unfortunately, there should be wide open now. There's just Gregory Eckler in front of him, and I think they'll actually get home from here without having to worry about anybody else. Lindeman's last up at 36 even, which is well off the pace. 36 even. Just wondering whether he's just paced himself or whether he's fuel saving. He did have to pit. He had to pit a lap earlier than everyone else. So I'm wondering if he's fuel saving.
Just jumped on board for a second there. Didn't sound like he was fuel saving or anything else like that. Looks fairly racy. Perhaps just taking it easy. He knows he's only got 4 laps to go. No need to push it beyond the limits.
Well, he's doing it easy, and he's done it easy, hasn't he? You could almost see Marcus growing up in this series, can't you, over the last few races. He's maturing his racecraft just beautifully. And we've always known he's had the pace. There's no question about his pace, but just his racecraft is just getting better and better every week.
Yeah, absolutely. He just goes in tiny little bit hot into
wide,
the hairpin.
A bit deep. I thought I won't say anything there.
Yeah, let's just hope it's all good. Sorry, you were saying?
I don't know whether it's just my screen or Charles also has got a chuck of his car. There's another picture of him and... No, he has got a chuck of his car.
Yeah, front right.
His last lap at 35 even, so he took a second out of Lenderman in that last lap. So across the strike, we're talking 12 seconds, mind you, the gap.
Yeah, and actually Lenderman stepped it back up with a 34.8, so... but still 0.3 of a second closed in for Charles. Perhaps that damage is helping him, because he moves away half a second from Tobias as well.
Well, Tobias has got to be congratulated here. 10th on the grid, up to 3rd. Good points, it has to be said. And that's actually the top 3 in the championship are running in order now. So,
I think you find that's the top 4 running in order now, isn't it?
We haven't gone back to 4th. Hang on, you're probably right. Yeah, with Dongwu, yes, you're right, sorry. So, yeah, well, the top 4 running in order. So, resume as you are, gentlemen.
Yeah, perhaps not what any of them necessarily needed or wanted, but yeah, everyone's just going to extend that gap just a little bit with the rest of the season to go. Talking of the rest of the season, you were saying that we've got the mountain up next. Always a challenge.
Next week. Oh, it's a favourite. There will be plenty of Aussies there next week. You can guarantee that. There'll be some one-off appearances with the Australian flag there. Not sure I really like the one-off appearances, I must admit, but there's nothing you can do to stop them. Then Laguna Seca, Zolder, Interlagos is the Enduro, as is Suzuka for the last 2 weeks. But yeah, no, Bathurst is a favourite of a lot of the drivers, I think. And it's just such a great track. It's an unforgiving track. You don't want to make any mistakes. So 30 laps at Bathurst next week. Yeah, it's going to be over an hour of driving. And yeah, it's good. I can't wait.
I was about to say, that's quite a long one as well. It's not an endurance, but still quite a long race.
Well, I think that we're running, I think the Lendermans of the world will be running in the 205s, 206s as the lap times. They might have surprisingly 204. But I think the average time will be 207s, 208s for the normal humans.
Marcus closing in on the back of Dongwu Gang here, but no need to, I don't think there's any need for him to make a move. I think he'll just sit there and take the winning class and not worry about it too much.
Yeah, I actually think he might make a move, but you're right, it's not going to make any difference to him, there's no need to. But he might be remembering right now as to why he's behind Dongwu Gang and not in front of him, and why he's got rear wing damage and not front fender damage.
Bernie Weimer's a bit late on the brakes, going into chicane in the middle of the circuit there, right behind DK Lee, wants to pick up an extra spot with just 2 laps to go here. That certainly hasn't helped.
No, I think DK's through, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he is.
Was it that way around? It might have been that way around, actually.
Yeah, DK was 14th, now up to 13th, and Bernie has just dropped that 1 spot, but I think if you offered Bernie a 13th or a 14th at the start of the race, he would have said thank you very much for the rabbits.
Wang also through on Dongwu Gang, but no real need to log that, I guess, with them in different classes. There's not really not too much else going on out there. It's been quite a surprise. Normally we see battles throughout the field all race long, Brenton.
Well, considering the helter-skelter of the first 4 or 5 laps, it really has calmed down a lot, hasn't it? And yeah, let's have stay on board with Marcus Lenderman here, just jump on board in the cockpit with him, ride with him on this last lap. His laps have been just sensational all throughout, and I think he has had the fuel save. I think he's probably knocked down the fuel down probably to map 2, maybe even map 3, because his times have dropped from his first stint. So what did he pit on lap 14? Yes, I think he came in the 1 lap early, so he's had to save, but not heavily. And coming up to the last chicane.
Yeah, a good solid drive from Lenderman here. Extends his lead in the championship. Tacks the curbs. Weaves in celebration. Great result.
And well deserved. Well, congratulations, Marcus Lenderman. The PitTalk.Asian.com GT Simulator Series winner of Gilles Villeneuve in Canada, so congratulations, he'll be very happy. Go back to second, it's a fair way back. Charles a bit crumpled in second, and Tobias a bit crumpled in third too, so there's a few dramas there, but Dongwu is being listed as 5th. No, Huang actually did pass Dongwu.
Yeah, Huang passed him on the previous lap coming into turn 1.
Alex Cherney in an excellent 6th place, so fantastic result for him. Farney Lazarity in 7th, a bit conservative by Farney. Normally there's a bit of fireworks from Farney week to week, but has to be said it's a bit placid tonight for him. Kevin Huang, a consistent 8th place, a bit off the pace, but had some dramas. Brett Woods, an excellent 9th place, we discussed that. Very consistent, Brett. 10th place for Mid Park. Aaron Pearce, a bit aggressive in some spots tonight, Aaron, but picked up a good 11th spot. It's a good result. Gregory Eggle, a fantastic result for Greg. Where was Greg at the start from 24th on the grid up into the 12th? Bernie Weemers, we discussed him again. Good result. DK Lee. I think Mr. Lang might want to have you in his room having a chat to you this week. It was not good driving. DK has to be set in 14th place. Peugeot had a couple of pit stops in 15th. Sata dramas in 16th. Wilson dramas in lap 1. 17th. Buffet dramas. Bouquet dramas. Brahm dramas. Ballinger dramas. Everybody else dramas. But ultimately the top 4 of the top 5 position as standing order in the championship. So 48 minutes for the race time, so a good race.
Yeah, by no means a thriller that we normally see in the series, but still an interesting race. The way it pans out for the championship keeps those front 4 all pretty close, although the gap's just slightly getting bigger. How many rounds have we got? We got left, so we have.
Well, we've got
5 rounds left.
We got the 2 enduros and Bathurst, which I think you could be seen as an enduro with the.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Discussed. Yeah, that's going to be over an hour in itself. So, Laguna Seca, Zolder, Interlagos, and Suzuka. So some good tracks to come. Apart from Laguna Seca, don't like that. But no, a nice steady race then. Who would be your driver of the day?
Oh, that's a tough one. I tell you what,
Well, I don't think it is this time. We've seen him dominate races from fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying, fastest race. We never give it to him, but I'm going to throw it his way tonight. Marcus Lenderman, he's going to be my driver of the day. He's matured. He didn't get carried away tonight. He didn't bust the field open and go out there and win by 30 seconds. He just drove sensibly, kept it off the walls. And I don't get the finish. His car was one of the only ones that didn't have a dent on it. So my driver of the day would be Marcus Lenderman.
Well, I think I'll let you call that one. There's been some great drives that need some honourable mentions where they've picked up a lot of place. You know, Brett Woods, Bernie Weemers. You know, they moved up a heck of a lot of places throughout that race, and you know, Bernie was in the wall at the start. So good race from him.
Oh, a fantastic result from Bernie. There's no doubt at all. What 26th on the grid, up to 13th, I think it was. Yep, fantastic.
I'm just having a look at the restart now. Oh, well, I say restart. I'm just looking at the start. Yeah, I think there's a few guys run out wide, rejoined the circuit, and then it just knocked on, and there was some spins, and it was very, very messy. We can't see nothing up in the blimp at the minute.
Yeah, I'm on board Bernie's car now, and he's I'm not sure what Bernie's actually done there. I can't describe that one. What has he done? That is truly bizarre. He's actually just driven straight to the wall. There's going to be some sort of problem there. He's just turned hard into the wall.
Bouquet, yeah, see what happened with Bouquet. Bouquet just went in too hot into that second chicane, you know.
Yeah, that was disappointing.
Who was that? There's down. Oh, that was Warren, wasn't it, as well, coming out after the chicane
Warren's
as
car
well.
was a mess, absolute mess. Warren's already out the back door on my screen, and it didn't get any better for him. This Brett Wilson as well in the first turn. Yeah, it was a bit messy, it must be said. Yeah, it's the type of thing that's in holiday, the type of thing that makes a mess of a race, isn't it?
Yeah, I have to say we haven't seen a first lap start like that for quite some time, and I wonder actually if that's why we didn't have very close racing through the rest of that. There was some odd little battles, but a lot of cars pulled out of the mix early on with that first lap.
With Pickering, he was had some good driving then. Just didn't lost traction out of the second chicane, and she's all over. That's a hard hit.
Vincent Brehm as well in the turn one of the second lap looked like he had it coming together with someone. I'm not sure who that was, but yeah, there was a lot of cars with a lot of damage after just 1.5 laps here.
Yeah, Malone was another one who copped it as well, and Martin's another one. So yeah, some previous race winners there and competitive guys gone early, but yeah, guys like Bernie Weemers cashed in, did a great result, got a good job. Did a good job, got a great result, that's what I meant. Getting ACitis.
Right, well, just Nick Charles is waiting patiently down there just to have a little chat with us. Charles, I haven't spoken to you for a little while, mate, so my first question is, how are you, buddy? Did you enjoy Singapore Grand Prix? And I heard a little rumour that you got pit lane access.
Hey man, thanks, yeah. Good to see you guys again. Well, it's a little trick that you guys you should use next time. Any old pit lane passes you might have, just keep them. You might come in useful in the next year. Yeah, I really enjoyed the weekend actually. Yeah, I mean the Singapore GP, you should go. It's good. It's an epic race. Great place to watch as well. Yeah.
I have to say, I found it funny that you could get in pit access with your old GP past, but not so long ago, Lewis Hamilton carrying his helmet in full race suit. They wouldn't let him in because he didn't have his ID on him. He was walking back from his car, crashed or broken down. He had to walk back, and didn't let him back in the pit lane. So well done to you.
Yeah. Well, you know, if your pass says VIP on it, it doesn't make a difference whether it's from 2014 or 2011. So.
Let's face it, Charles, you probably would have said, look, hey, I'm Charles Sierra, coming second overall in the PitTalkAsia.com GT series, and they've said, say no more, Charles, in you go.
I wish that would work. It'd be great. I'll go to every single Grand Prix.
Tell us a bit about your race tonight.
Yeah, well, the start was actually, I had a pretty good launch. Apart from that, it's just the usual scenario with the the other cars on the track. Yeah, I had a word with Marcus Lindemann before the race. I told him, to finish first, you first have to dodge all the Corvettes. So, and it was right. So, yeah, I mean, apart from that, I had a pretty good stint. I couldn't get past Dongwoo. He was pretty good on the defense. On the pit entry, I actually managed to jump him going in, but I missed my pit box, so that cost me a couple of seconds. And yeah, I managed to get around him in turn 1. I can't remember which lap it was. And yeah, after that, it was just controlling the pace and finishing it in second. Pleased with the result. I haven't had a clean race since Motegi. So yeah, pretty happy with that today.
Yeah, we saw you just overshoot your pit stop a little bit there, and it was obviously cost you dearly. But yeah, good steady result with good battle with Dongwoo in second place. I guess you would have taken that at the start of the race.
Yeah, I was hoping to actually keep up pace with Lindemann because he had to save fuel, so I thought I could keep up pace with him. But yeah, I guess getting past Dongwoo, it's good. I mean, I expected to finish. My own expectations were to finish third and higher, so happy with the second place. And especially it's a bonus because it's a clean race as well this time.
And we noticed a fair chunk of the right front of your car missing at the end of the race. What happened there?
I didn't have any contact with anyone, so
Okay.
yeah. From what I know, my car was spotless apart from dirt and shit.
Okay, obviously designed for the BMW on my screen. Sorry about that.
Yeah, my car was clean, right? I didn't even touch the wall at all.
Really? There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the mountain next week at Bathurst. I know
Oh, yes.
you've done numerous laps there. Tell us about that.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm actually supposed to go to the casino next Saturday, but I'm not going to the casino just to race at Bathurst because I want to win there, and I love that track so much. Yeah, hopefully it'll be good. I have a good pace there, so yeah.
Well, 30 laps, so it's a long race. It's going to take over an hour, and I know you've done plenty of practice there in the past, so yeah, no doubt you'll have high hopes for that. And probably a good chance to chip away at this lead that Marcus is building up now.
Yeah, 30 laps, give me 60 laps, I'll gladly drive 60 laps at Bathurst, no problem. I love the track.
Really good. Well, good job tonight, mate. From where are we on the grid? Let's have a look. You were 7th on the grid. You would have been disappointed with that, I'd imagine. So from 7th on the grid up into 2nd in the race, mate. So congratulations. That's a great result.
Yeah, thanks, man. Well, actually, if I finish like 7th overall, if the Corvettes didn't crash out, I would have finished like 3rd in class or something. So it would have been fine actually. But yeah, not having the Corvettes in front of me, it's a really good thing because it can focus more on your driving instead of having to look at your braking spots and not hit them and that kind of thing. So yeah,
we always like a happy Charles driving, not an angry Charles driving.
Yeah,
which he hates Corvettes. So
I love Corvettes. I love the car. I hate the format.
Hey. Alright, mate. Thanks for that and good luck next week.
Thank you. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Brendan.
Cheers, mate. We're joined by Alex Journey. Alex, interesting
Hello.
race for you out there. It looked like perhaps you lost a little bit of ground with all the shenanigans going on the first lap. Just talk us through that first lap from your point of view.
Yeah, the start was, from my point of view, they were all very decent, but the Corvettes the one Corvette was really slow, warming up the tires on the inside, and after turn 2, and yeah, I got again a small wiggle like last week, but I was lucky not to smash it into the wall, and then.
Looked like you had fairly strong pace out there as well, but perhaps being held up in the first stint by Lazardri?
Yeah, sure. And I've seen what my brother did for lap times, and it would have been nice when I could driving directly behind my brother after I think Greg and Fani got a small incident in the last chicane. My brother got by, and I got stuck behind Fani, and during the race he said something about his tires, I think, I don't know, lap 14 or then into the pits, lap 15, and I thought, now I have to go, I have to overtake him, and then he was braking really, really early into the pits, and I decided to go to the throttle again, and I'm happy I wasn't too fast in the pit lane. But if I would take it correctly, I would say I'm entering the pit lane by the cones. Might have been that I was 10 kilometers per hour too fast, but nobody has seen this.
You, of course, out-qualified your brother. Is that perhaps a sign of things to come in this GT series?
I didn't get the question right, sorry.
Sorry, I said you out-qualified your brother today. Is that a sign of things to come?
I hope so. But today it was a little bit different because I had, I'm not using my regular race seat, and I have to, I'm at the flat where my brother lives too, and I'm using a normal kitchen table and a normal seat, and it's very difficult to drive for me. But I had been driving on Montreal on Tuesday, I think, and my brother had done no laps before this race, so I had a small advantage. I said him which setup to take, and of course he was faster during practice, but in the qualifying I did also my personal best time, and I think I'm in the GT3 it's easier for me than in the V8, of course.
Well, obviously in the V8s we were only at Bathurst this week. We're there next week in this series. Obviously you know what to expect on that one, so what's your targets going into that race?
Next week I will try to keep on my pace and using my new rim again. For the last 2 weeks I'm using my old G25 Logitech wheel, and because I got problems with the new Fanatec, but I hope these problems are gone now, and I can focus on the new wheel, new pedals of course, and not only always switching between these two systems, which are somehow different.
Well, good strong top 5 finish in class, so congratulations for that, and we'll see you next week, and hopefully you can go just one step better.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you. Thanks for broadcasting.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Hello.
Hi Tobias. Well, congratulations on that podium position. I think when you were sat on that grid, did you honestly think a podium was possible?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of things can happen in these races, and of course when I'm starting 10th there's still a few Corvettes in front, so I was 7th in class. I knew it gonna be hard, but in the end, I mean, it would have been a quite good 5th, I would say, but no, like 4th. but Dongwoo came together there with Marcus Wang. So yeah, that was these two positions overall, and one position in class for me that was pretty good. Unluckily at the start it didn't went all that right. There was a car going off and about to re-enter, and I couldn't see exactly what was going on. I saw that Molana was doing a move to the left as well, and I followed him and totally forgot or didn't knew about that Warren Pickering was there on the very, very outside. And yeah, we made their leg contact, and it looks really stupid in the replay, I have to say. Apologize for that.
Tobias, for those who don't know, like who just watched the GT broadcast, just before you start this race, you generally do the V8 supercar race. Tonight's race at Bathurst, tough track, 40 laps. Just explain to those who don't know how hard it is to go from not just the change of car but the change of track 1 minute and just hop into a complete new car, complete new track the next minute, and be very competitive in both. How hard is it?
Yeah, thankfully it's not only 1 minute. It's I think we had like 50 minutes, but it's the track isn't the problem. I would say it's more the car that is the problem. So the first laps I do then here in the GT3 class, I tend to brake too early. I tend to be too careful on the throttle, and I start doing, I don't know. I have a quick look back. Fastest lap time I did in practice then was a 34 flat. I had a 33.7 on my optimals, but I start with some like 35s. Start with 2 seconds off the pace, and yeah, but it's maybe 10 laps or so, and I get in there, and my brother helped me there a bit because he did some official racing there this week, and so I'm not doing GT3s official at all. So he had a setup that worked quite good, and he gave it to me, and also of course very happy to be faster in quali, but not that happy that I was past him in the race, and stayed ahead of him and finished a few positions up, but he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, no, he did a good job. First time he's actually out-qualified you, but once you got past Fani Lazari in his McLaren, you were really able to stretch your legs, and in the end you beat Fani by 30 seconds, and your brother wasn't able to get through quite as quickly. Still did at the end and put 15 seconds on him, so just probably that early chance to get through Fani just made such a big difference later in the race.
Yeah, for sure. It was actually quite difficult because there was another car involved as well. I'm not sure who it was. Just looking at the results. Greg Heaton, I guess, was it?
Yeah,
applying a lot of pressure there to me. First I let him go, and then he was applying the pressure to Fani, and I didn't want to go for the move there at the hairpin, but yeah, it happened, and I went through as well. I was quite happy, and then half a lap later Greg threw the rough into the walls, and that opened the big gap there to the both guys ahead, to Charles and Dongwoo. And I noticed I had very similar pace, so it would have been very great if I would have been directly behind them. But Marcus, again, in a world of his own. I wasn't sure if he maybe have to pit twice, as he went into the pits on lap 14, but I think with a bit of fuel saving he managed to get the second stint done. But yeah, obviously his lap times incredible, and then the benefit to starting ahead of the most Corvettes, leading by turn 1 is definitely a big plus here. I saw it after 2-3 laps after the field settled in, and so he was like already 10 seconds gone, and Charles was also 6-7 seconds away, and there actually I started to settle in and try to do slowly come closer. It worked a bit in the pit stop. Don't know what happened to Dongwoo there. Maybe he took a bit less fuel to stay ahead, but had to save fuel for the second stint. But yeah, in total it was a great race, good fun.
Don't need to ask you more questions after that answer. I guess you covered pretty much this week, next week, and the rest of the season.
I tried. Yeah, but the rest of the season it might be that we are not. So my brother and I have to skip the race in 2 weeks' time. So this year Laguna Seca with the GT3s and Phillip Island with the V8s.
All right, mate. Well, good job tonight, mate. Third place, so congratulations. Good, strong effort. Made the most of other people's mistakes. That's what it's all about. So congratulations on the podium.
Yeah, thank you guys.
The man could talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles, I'm sure of it, but he gives us plenty of information every week, and it's
absolutely.
It's always good to have Tobias here. Always good, but wow. Ask him a question and sit back and relax. You don't have to ask another one.
Well, I don't know about you, Brendan, but I was perhaps a little disappointed with the racing this week. You know, I was just hoping for some really good, close, hard-fought battles. We had a couple of little individual battles, but certainly not what we expected. And I think Montreal normally leads that, but really all down to that turn, that first lap.
Yeah, knocked out a lot of the good guys, didn't it? And created such a gap between the leader and second place straight away. So I just got to excuse that background noise. It was disappointing. It was a bit flat, but a good win by Marcus Lanneman. Good result for Bernie Williams, has to be said. Has to be, like you said, needs to deserve a shout out there. And good result for Charles and for Tobias as well. So we go on to Bathurst next week, where things will really heat up.
Yeah, just want to make sure we give a quick shout out to all the viewers that are watching. Thank you for tuning in. We'll obviously be back. Next week will be a post-race show, but the round after that will be live. But don't forget to follow us on Apex Racing TV on both Twitter and Facebook. Subscribe on the YouTube channel. And a big thank you to our sponsors, Sim Racers Asia and PitTalk Asia, the authority on Asian motorsport. Like I say, big thank you to those. Without them and Mark, we certainly wouldn't be doing this series.
Got to get Mark on board for commentating with us. I'm sure we can try and push that.
Yeah, one race. Or certainly get him in to have a little chat, even if it's not the very last race of the season, just to let us know of plans for future. Although I guess the season already ran a little longer than normal, so it's going to finish probably right around sort of the halfway mark of season 4, with just a little rest ready for 2015. So yeah, we'll see what we've got in plans for that. Hopefully we can get that out of him.
Well, there's a few things have fallen to Mr. Lang's lap here, and that next season is only 6 weeks long. So there's a chance to go through halfway through next season, take 3 weeks off, and then start afresh next year with the new season on schedule.
Yeah, see what he comes up with. Lots of new changes to the sim as well. I wonder if any of that will get incorporated into it as well. So, been fun nonetheless today, Brenton. Always a pleasure to have you up here with me. And I guess I'll wish you the best of luck next week.
Roll on Bathurst.
Yeah. And I'll catch you for the round after that.
Look forward to it. Cheers, Ozzy.
Right, thanks everybody tuning in. See you guys next week on demand on YouTube. We'll get it up as soon as we possibly can, probably Sunday. Tune into that there. But thanks for joining us here at Montreal. We'll see you then.